Parramatta Stadium, what a beautiful football stadium it is, and that is Parramatta Marist making their way down the tunnel. Really, Marist only just across the road, and co-winners of the Parramatta division of this year's Commonwealth Bank Cup with Fairfield Patrician Brothers. Marist Brothers Parramatta, their claims are very strong in '93. They won it back in 1988. From fullback, it's Wheeler, Bowden, Hartley, Curran, Gibson. The 5'8" is Taloni. The halfback is very, very smart, Jolly. Then it's Surtees, Decelis, the captain in 9. Kovac, Edgar, Savas and Carl. Parramatta Marist Brothers, the emerald green and gold. In conference, and this is their opponents. Marist, from all reports, will have to be in top gear from the very start. St.Pauls Manly, now being nurtured very much so by the mighty Manly Warringah club. Only one change to this St.Pauls side today. Joe Taylor comes out of the side. That's a big blow. But let's have a look at how they line up. Wharton at fullback, already playing President's Cup with Manly. Then it's Ivers, Robertson, Tauro, Lambert. The 5'8" is Nevin, then it's Crotty, Halcyon, Naval the captain in 9. Harris, Smith, Swerdlow, and Colella is the lock forward. St.Pauls of Manly, the black and red. Your referee for today's Commonwealth Bank Cup clash is Mr. Stephen CHIDDY. So just about set, and to get us underway, the fullback, Brett Wharton, Marist Brothers Parramatta are running from left to right as you see them. St.Pauls Manly from right to left, and immediately a crunching tackle from the lock forward Colella. A defensive rate second to none in the side, and a person that joins me today, co-commentary Peter Sterling. No one knows this stadium better, but what a very, very good rugby league side from all reports, Parramatta Marist.
Well, we're getting down towards the end of the Commonwealth Bank Cup competition, so the sides have started to sort themselves out. Parramatta Marist always very strong, and this is a good burst here, taking play almost to the 40-metre line in the first set of 6. A beautiful afternoon for football. Very unusual to see two hookers captaining their respective sides, so they will both play key roles in their particular outfits, Decelis and Naval.
So a good start from both sides. Marist came out and nearly made it to the halfway. On the other side of the spectrum, St.Pauls Manly came up with some very vital tackles and immediately asserted their authority in the defensive department.
It's been a very physical start, and already we have Michael Smith down for St. Paul's, the second rower. As they take it over the halfway line now, he's receiving some attention. Defence early on, very aggressive.
Replacement in 10 is not Joe Taylor, as published in the big league. That, in fact, you will find is Ryan Swerdlow. Joe Taylor out a massive blow. I know that the coach, Tony Herringe, has enormous raps on this front rower, Joe Taylor.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a penalty here. Referee ruling this tackle here from Colella was too high. There you see the swinging arm. In fact, the Marist player ducked into it, but there was a swinging arm, and Colella came up with about the second tackle of the game and also went a little bit high, so he'll need to just get that in check.
Kovac to find the line for Marist. It's come straight up the side of the boot. In fact, his side has lost 5 metres. So they'll restart midway, 40 and 50. St. Paul's side of halfway at Parramatta Stadium. Marist now. Surtees. It takes 3 defenders. Over the top was Smith. Jolly steps off the left and comes back to the middle. Back for Surtees. Taken over the top by Harris. Referee Chitty calling back the St. Paul's troops. He cuts out one player now. Aim at Edgar. member of the Parramatta SG ball winning side in '93. Watch the number 11 for Parramatta Marist. Curran with the cutout ball back for Jolly. This is Wheeler trying to get between runners, but Crotty, the halfback in company with Nevin, was there to make the tackle. Scooting from dummy half and kicking is Taloni. And now Ivers to bring it back for St. Paul's.
It was a well-constructed set of 6 there from Parramatta Marist. We saw a few set plays in there, some second man ball movement. Unfortunately, the kick at the end there it wasn't for any chases from Parramatta Marist, and in the end, even though it rebounded off a St. Paul's player, it was fairly easily cleaned up by Tauro. They now take the ball 25 metres out centre field.
St. Paul's man, good ball distribution there from the second rower. Harris unloaded in pressure. Advancing the football was Naval. Good stuff from St. Paul's Manly. Wharton evades 2 defenders, takes his time, then tries to split the fullback and the wingers. It's a nice kick. It's back on the 10-metre line. Wheeler brings it back. Can he beat the first? He can't. And Lambert was equal to the task.
A well-placed kick there. It's an afternoon where no breeze, so the kicking games are going to be very important. There's a nice long kick there, getting good field position for Manly early on, but they've nullified that by giving away a penalty. Referee ruling that the players were inside the 10 metres. This will take the pressure off Parramatta Marist. The centre field, so they shouldn't pick up much ground. We saw Kovac fine touch off the side of the boot. He'll be looking for a better strike on the football with this one.
He's right in the centre of the stadium. He's not taking any chances. This time he goes for the Michael Cronin side of Parramatta Stadium and finds it 5 metres short of halfway. So Marist, another chance for them to set themselves for a play situation. From the tap, they spin it wide, and they hit it up wide, and this is Edgar, Eamon Edgar. Mark Duncan, the District Development Officer for Parramatta, believes he'll play for Parramatta even so early as '94. Very strong forward, very strong runner of the football. Taloni from dummy half comes across field, dummies inside for Edgar. Finds Carl, who comes back in and runs the line. Now they use it. This is Hartley, throws it for Curran, and Curran tries to get away from Robertson, but the defence from St. Paul's eventually picks him up and drives him. Chris Crotty, the halfback for St. Paul's, covering plenty of territory in both attack and defence. They straighten it. This is Decelis. You'll find that he will be used as a running forward and not a dummy half, although he wears the 9. Jolly one off the ruck. Now they use it. Kovac, the kick and chase. Hartley gives chase. It's taken by Wharton, and well done as well.
Very good defence there from St. Paul's. The reason for that is that Parramatta Marist look a very well-drilled side, and what they're doing is putting a lot of bodies in motion, trying to get the defence to overread the situation. And by that I mean somebody rushing up out of the line. As yet St. Paul's haven't fallen for that, and they've come up with some good gang tackling. As we see there from Parramatta Marist, the same thing, centre field. Finding it fairly difficult to get out off their own line here. That's 4 tackles gone.
And Peter, the winner of this game goes forward to meet the winner of Woodlawn College. Again, the Lismore side very strong, and they'll play either those or St. Francis Xavier of Newcastle.
Well, that's great work there from Parramatta Marist. They've got a handover on the 6 tackle on the 20-metre line. Bad work there from St. Paul. Somebody had to get a kick in. So we've got 5 tackles now, only 9 metres out.
Well, both Eamon Edgar and Savas look remarkably alike, and I'll have to get them correct straight away. Jolly for Marist, ball on the ground, it's still alive. Oh, he ducked under 2 high shots and eventually brought to the ground. Only 5 out from the St. Paul's line. Marist brothers, Parramatta, 6 more tackles. Has Hartley recognised the fact he has? So they'll set back into their pattern. Very well orchestrated. Penalty Marist right in front.
Well, it looks a fairly tough call, that one. I'd like to have a look at it again. Brett Wharton, the fullback there on screen, was the man penalised. He came up with a pretty good tackle here. There you see it kick through, so it was another 6. It was picked up by Hartley. That's Wharton over the top. Well, I think he had every right to roll the player off him. He's trying to clean up the ruck area. In fact, I think the Parramatta Marist player helped him. He was making forward movement anyway, so I don't think that the fullback had any chance to do anything else. He's obviously said some words here because he's been called out, as has the captain, Adam Naval. And it's a fairly easy kick here from
I think you'll find he might be getting called out for one of the high shots that he was, the Parramatta Marist attacker
Yes,
ducked under.
That's exactly right. Brian Bowden, the winger, came in from his left wing, and even though he tried to duck under one tackle, it wasn't too effective.
And obviously, Brett Wharton was one of the defenders. Bowden was stepping and jinking and couldn't pick up the first defender, but it was Brett Wharton for sure and certain, according to the touch judge. Right in front, Craig Gibson. Right in line with the left hand upright. Moves into it. There's your answer. Marist Brothers Parramatta. 2 points to 0. St. Pauls Manly, Commonwealth Bank Cup on 9's Wide World of Sports. Scoreline, Parramatta Marist 2 points to 0 over St. Pauls Manly. The penalties are 3-0 going with Parramatta Marist. Wharton the restart. Savas stumbles, gets up and comes again. Crosses the 10. He beats one and then runs into the lock forward. Kalela has made some vital tackles in the opening half.
That's much too easy. 2 tackles, they've gone 25 metres there, Parramatta Marist. Even though the man who took it up on that occasion, Peter Curran, is now hurt. The big number 10, Kovac, tries to slip a ball. They need to stiffen their defence up, St. Paul's. That's 3 tackles and they've gone 35, 40 metres.
Curran trying to get some movement back into that left leg. It might be a cork. They move it. This is the lock forward for Marist. Nathan Carl to the 40. Last tackle signalled by the referee. Kick along the ground, comes off the chest. I thought it might have touched a hand. Ivers is wrapped up, however, inside his own 22. The first thing that strikes you for Marist, just besides their attack, their chase excellent on that occasion, and they've got St. Paul's hemmed inside their 30.
Well, the kicks haven't been that effective, Mark, so the chase needed to be good. I don't think that they've been too intelligently taken, the kicks. They really haven't kicked to put any pressure on the opposition. They haven't gone high. They really just kicked it to players who had an easy catch of the ball. On that occasion, Ivers nearly came up with a knock-on, but the referee ruled the ball had gone back. But the one thing that St. Paul's, well, that's going to help St. Paul's here. That was the last tackle.
They needed a penalty, didn't they?
They did. They'd found it very difficult to get out of their own territory. As you can see, the man going back on side now penalised for going too high and then pushing again. So a double banger there. But they'd only got to the 40 metres in 6 rucks, so they're doing it pretty tough against this Marist defence.
Nabel the restart. Unloads. And then Hausier launches himself at the green and goal. Kalela takes it too wide of the ruck, turns in the tackle. St. Paul's have lost it on the second play. Scrum will go down. Awful mistake.
Yes, funny enough here, the referee is signalling that the Parramatta Marist player is knocked on, so I think you're going to find a St. Paul's scrum feed. He's ruled that that wasn't a knock-on, but the player coming in there, the number 3, Hartley, came up with the offence, so a bit of a let-off there, and the halfback's nearly gone straight through from the scrum base, Crotty.
A very dangerous player. Crotty plays it. Nevin goes himself. Some good smart running from dummy half. Simple plays, but effective. Hausier.
And if they come left, Parramatta Marist have got a front rower standing in a centre position. He's played it forward. It's going to be a penalty. Didn't release the football.
Hausier, the offender.
The referee's ruled that that wasn't played to his liking. You are allowed to play the ball forward, but he's picked it up in the ruck area. He had a marker, and the referee was quick to pounce.
Could have been the hero, as it turns out, the villain.
Well, I think they should have gone wide 2 tackles before that, Mark. As I said, they had forwards caught out in the back line, and that's really what you look for when you've got the football down in the opposition's line, where you get players out of position. And Parramatta Marist were really caught out of position with their big men trying to occupy centre positions.
Just about to ask the question as he comes up with another smothered tackle. Love the look of the 13 for St. Paul's, Kalela.
He's doing plenty of work, isn't he? And he was hurt earlier in the game, so he's recovered well from that.
Last year, Peter, we We travelled to Campbelltown and saw St. Paul's take on the very, very strong and eventual winners, Fairfield Patrician Brothers. They had a player now playing with Manly. I'll come back to that. Hartley puts the ears back. Can he evade the tackle of Wharton? It was magic defence. Picked up, play on, knock on. Let's come back.
Oh, Gary Jolly, if he could have taken that one. It was good support play, and you see the disappointment expressed there. A good burst straight up the middle from
Duncan,
the captain,
Decelis.
He found support in a flying Hartley. The fullback Wharton comes up with a high tackle, which allowed the man to get the ball away. He tried to half volley it, did Jolly, and if he had, I think he'd have scored. Just wasn't able to control it, and a let off there from St. Paul's. They were busted straight up the middle.
Decelis, in fact, vice-captain of Parramatta Marist School. He's the captain of the football side. He made the New South Wales Catholic College's side, and they won the Australian titles. A very, very smart footballer.
As I pointed out at the beginning of the match, Mark, unusual to see two hookers captaining sides, but if you've got good, smart players in the hooking position, it's an ideal place to captain from. You're in dummy half most of the game, so you're directing the play. You're in the centre of the ruck area, so you know what's going on where the football is, and they seem to be doing a pretty good job.
That's the case with Nabel. You'll find Decelis is used from a running situation, so he's even got the added advantage of standing back and having a look at it. This ball rolling back for Hartley. He'll take it 5 out from his own line. He'll cross the 10 with ease. Comes back, the black and red jerseys are there. He's taken by his opposite, Tauro. Gets up and plays it. Gibson comes in for a scoot. Back to the middle they come. Curran's recovered. He splits one. He can't beat the second. Very good straight runner of the football, Curran. Played flag under Blocker Roach for Balmain this year. Taloni to dummy half.
They're taking advantage of the speed of the play of the ball of Parramatta Marist here. They've got a good roll on there. Obviously, the coach has stressed to his players that this new 10-metre rule, if you can get a quick play of the ball, you're going to cause a lot of problems for the defence.
I wanted to give a player a rap that I saw last year for St. Paul's Manly, but Duncan Decelis put paid to that. Stuart Marker, I saw him last year. He's now playing with the Manly club and almost single-handedly brought about disaster for Fairfield Pats, and that was a near let-off. Cool as a cucumber, Brett Wharton.
Well, one of the St. Paul's players actually falls over here at a crucial time. There you go. And the ball just onto the line as the flying Bowden arrives 6 inches too late.
Also trying to get that wrap in for Stuart Marker now. Kalela. They do look very disciplined, Parramatta Marist.
Well, their attack has been very well drilled. It's well constructed. We've seen on a couple of occasions after tap kicks, you know that they've gone through and worked out what they're going to do the next 3 or 4 plays as they give away a penalty here going against Hartley.
They've only had the 1 penalty to date, St. Paul's, a second penalty, and they coughed it up on the second tackle last time. Here's a real opportunity for them. Like the look of Nabel. Restart. Harris, driven. Surtees was there, and so was Eamon Edgar. Edgar out to try and meet Hausier. Hausier comes back to the middle of the ruck. Nabel dummy half. Swerdlow came through. Kalela takes the face ball. He split them. He crosses the 10. Oh, he stays on his feet, and he had the fullback in all sorts of trouble. Penalty coughed up. What does the referee want? Well, where is this referee going? Back out to the 10-metre line.
Well, he's ruled that the mistake was made. Very good work from Kalela. I think we'll see an ankle tap there. There you see the halfback came up with an ankle tap. The referee ruled that the ball has come out. There you see it there, and it wasn't against the Parramatta Marist player, so they'll get the scrum and the feed, and they've won the ball. So a let off there. Good break made by the lock forward, but a good tackle by the halfback.
Is this Edgar or Savas? Either way, he looks to unload, but eventually wrapped up by Robertson and Nabel. It was Eamon Edgar. Gibson wrapped up from dummy half. Taloni to dummy half. Curran works blind. Can he split them? Oh, he threw himself at the line. Accelerated at pace. Savas. Nabel really tidying up the middle for St. Paul's. Now, this kick has been sent back for Wharton. Wharton comes back. He'll beat this defender. He scoots over 20. This boy can travel, let me tell you. Gets up and goes again. It was a try-saving ankle tap by Brian Bowden that could have brought about disaster for the green and gold of Marist brothers.
Actually, good speed, Wharton. First got outside the winger, Brian Bowden, and then Hartley had one go at him, had to ankle tap him almost and then get up and complete the tackle, but did show some speed, the fullback, and the kick chase isn't good. It looks like a player that could be very dangerous bringing the ball back.
Penalty Parramatta Marist.
Well, he's ruled that the lock forward Colella has walked off the mark, and why would he walk off the mark when there's a Parramatta Marist player lying in the centre of it? Let's have a look at it. He's trying to get up to play the ball. Well, where's he going to play it?
He's made a couple of strange decisions. We've got two good football sides on our hands. And I must say, a couple of decisions that really have looked odd to me.
Well, I think Colella did try and milk something there, but the bottom line was that he couldn't play the ball anywhere else without stepping off the mark.
Referee Chiddy, anyway, he's got the whistle.
What'd you say? He's Chiddy.
That's his name.
You're right there, as the ball goes inside the 40-metre area for Parramatta Marist.
Taloni looks open, comes blind. Decelis, second runner. Eamon Edgar. Driven, they almost looked Colella. I thought he got himself in a dangerous situation. The spear tackle there almost, and that would have been very dangerous. Standing wide is Sevis. Hartley goes to dummy half. Marist coming back to the middle this time through Carl. Steps out of one. Taken in the next tackle. Tauro, the centre, the number 4 for St.Pauls, getting through plenty. Forward pass. No doubt in the world about that one.
And I like to see that the referee has ruled a deliberate forward pass. We don't see it enough in the modern game. Too many passes that are deliberately thrown forward, and that one definitely was a call back for a scrum feed. This one has been given a penalty for St.Pauls. He was right on the spot.
Penalty starting to even themselves out now. 5-3. And out here today at Parramatta Stadium, we could well be watching the 93 player of the series on Cup final night. That player will receive $1,000 worth of fabulous playing apparel and leisure wear, courtesy of the great people at Deodora. The winning school, $5,000 worth of electrical equipment. I'm sure it'll go great with any school that wins it, from Phillips, and $3,000 to the runners-up. St.Pauls have worked well here on those first 3 tackles you've seen, and Colella now to play it for them. They've done the hard stuff, now can they move it wide? This is Halsier, and Halsier wrapped up by the defence, probably standing out wide, and they were looking for some fast men there on that occasion. Back they come through, Crotty now with Nevin. He steps around one and then unloads in the tackle. Wharton chopped off at the ankles by Hartley. Gets up, no marker. Referee says play on. Puts it along the ground. Finds the line, only a metre out.
Heavy play there by the fullback, Wharton. Took a little bit of a risk there because the marker wasn't too late in arriving. But he got up, touched the ball forward at speed, and then came up with a very decisive kick to the corner. A nice piece of play. He's done some good things in the last 5 minutes, the fullback.
Good little clash this, Peter. The clash of the halves, Crotty and also Jolly.
Well, there's a couple of good clashes out there, aren't there? Both of those players are going to be key members. I've been very impressed with both the lock forwards. We've mentioned Colella on a couple of occasions, but the number 13 for Parramatta Marist, Nathan Carl, very good player. Here he is going up now, Ron Coote style, tall and lanky, got a good work rate.
I didn't think you would have seen that much of Ron Coote.
Might have played against him at one stage, Mark, but I think we'll bring that up.
You're telling the story.
Good ball, good pass there from Curran around the back. I know it's a big wrap, but here's that style of player.
Hartley jinks off the left, comes off the right, unloads, good football. Decelis open pastures. He crosses the 10, inside for Jolly. He's ducking, scheming, stretching. Does he get there? No. He can smell it though. Dummy half, last tackle, Taloni. They use it wide, ricochets off a Marist player. Chases there from Hartley. Referee decision. Comes off a St.Pauls hand, or a Marist hand rather. He's going to play the changeover.
Well, haven't they bombed a try there? They got a reasonably quick play of the ball, and I reckon they had a 5-man overlap, but they got in each other's road. They got greedy, they got hungry, they got too excited. And this pass here Well, it goes between two players. If it had come a pass wider, try for sure. Got a replacement out there for Parramatta Marist in number 14. Tom Petrie goes on for the 5'8", Matthew Taloni. As Manly now make a break through Nathan Tauro, but well cleaned up there by another replacement player, Stephen Jolly in 18.
Jolly now, he's on for Taloni. He's only in year 10, of course. He is the brother of Stephen Jolly. In fact, cousin, I believe. So he's on the field, only in year 10, and as is his replacement, Tom Petrick, and again referring back to Mark Duncan, who has such a close association with the junior schools in the area. He just said to me, "Will play for Parramatta." And he said, is something that Parramatta is missing at the moment, his style of player. And he makes no bones about it. He's mean, tough, and loves to tackle, loves the rough stuff.
Oh, a fairly high tackle there. It's going to be
it was too.
Trent Robertson, who led the charge down. It was a very good kick. Stayed in the field of play and sat precariously in the corner there. It was cleaned up by the winger Bowden. Now he gets hit with a very high shot there, up around the neck area.
It wasn't malicious by any. He was trying to wrap the football up, but there it is. He's got him high in the head. It ricocheted backwards.
Well, it was a careless attempt, wasn't it? You know, you could see not a great deal of intent, but it was a careless shot that can do some damage. Fortunately for Trent Robertson, the damage only extends as far as a penalty.
They've still got 13 out there. That's the good news for St.Pauls, and he can probably count himself lucky. St.Pauls of men. So again, their time to defend. Marist now. This is Bowden. Bowden crosses the 30. Talela oversees the situation. He was happy with the job done by the defenders. Marist again start to work for it. Kovac plays it. Jolly now with Carl. Tries to get away from Crotty. Crotty, he's like a Gary Freeman type player. He's a schemer. He's a little angry ant, and he just travels all over the park. Marist. Now they attack. Wheeler. 5 short of the 40. To dummy half goes Jolly. Jolly unloads for Hartley. Can't handle. The knock-on will be played.
It was a very good pass from there because the man taking the ball up, you see Petrie getting out of one tackle, throwing the ball at the same time, and if Hartley had kept his eye on the ball, play could have continued. Instead we see a scrum feed centre field as Kallela picks up from the scrum base, pushes off one player and gets the ball away. It's awful play that. They've come up with a mistake before they've even had one tackle committed.
3-2, the scrum's going with Parramatta Marist. Gibson from dummy half. Jolly now out there with Gary, his cousin. He's going into the dummy half position as Taloni, the replaced player, was doing so before leaving the field. Jolly, this is Petrick in 14. Back it goes, Savis. One off the ruck is Jolly, but now it's with Surtees, launches himself at the line. You've got to hand it to St.Pauls. They've scrambled and defended and are really putting it to Parramatta Marist. Decelis, a nice ball. Sends him on his way. Unloads back for Decelis. The referee says play on. Try scorer you will find is Duncan Decelis. The ball came from big John Kovac.
Great play there on the last tackle, and Kovac did it all himself because he was able to hold off 3 defenders and still get the ball away. A blindside raid. Decelis throws the short ball. Now, how many's he got hanging off him? 2, 3. Nobody's tied up the football. Trent Robinson was trying to, but too much strength there by the big front rower. And this will look very nice from front on also. There you see the centre. He's got it wrapped up there, but the strength was just too much, and Decelis backed up very well after throwing the pass.
Not back to front me, but Decelis, there he is. He just stayed alive in the situation, didn't he?
Well, the good players do, don't they? They throw the pass, know that there's going to be something happening if a player can get their hands free, and that's exactly what happened. Kovac has had a very good game, made a lot of good yards. And even though Parramatta Marist have had opportunities to score before that, they really should have had the ball over the line.
Marist in very good hands out there. We just saw a picture of him. Warren Bain, of course, previous experience with the Parramatta Club and also Western Suburbs. And he's doing plenty of talking out there. Of course, he's just giving them some water.
And great time to score a try 3 minutes out from half-time, and psychologically it's a blow to the opposition who, as you pointed out, they've scrambled very well on a number of occasions. Right at the depth, they've had their line crossed, and they'll be disappointed going in at the break.
3 out from half-time, vital period. As talked about by Sterlo. This ball in flight. He's got it, by Jove. Parramatta Marist 8, St.Pauls Manly 0, Commonwealth Bank Cup. They are struggling to find a note. The band have been struggling in recent seasons, Peter, but they're persisting at it. The boys over there from Marist with the brass band. I can get away with that. I'm an old boy.
Well, that's okay. I can't play musical instruments, so I'm not going to knock anybody. I can sing in the shower, but Mark.
I can't do that. The neighbours tell me to be quiet. So Marist, Curran from dummy half, crosses the 30. Kalela, again, certainly been the defensive workhorse as spoken about prior to this game. Big John Kovac, the refrigerator of the Marist side, enormous, put on the opening try. Back for Kovac. So St.Pauls. Last opportunity before half-time. I wonder if they're aware of the time situation. They're being driven backwards, and the tackler involved in that one was Tom Petrick.
Well, no doubt that they don't want to make any mistakes down this end of the field with only a minute or two left on the clock. He's had a big game, Kovac, hasn't he? He's put on the try in this first half. He's kicked the football. You don't see a lot of front rowers who
Naval.
do that effectively. He does.
Nailed by Petrick. Over the top. Charge down, play on, shot the gate, Jolly, scoots over 30, Wharton has shown unbelievable pace, but Jolly scores the try right on half-time, and what a predicament to be in for St. Paul's. Oh, that'd break your heart.
Yes, very unfortunate there. The last tackle here, the kick, the little one over the top, did a great job there. It's no knock on.
Gary Larson. Peter Sterling.
Gary Larson, he's a cartoonist. I'm trying to look at it you're talking about. But yes, the North Sydney player does come up with a couple of those plays, and we saw it in the State of Origin. It was beautifully done there. Stephen Jolly, who came on halfway through this first half, didn't show a lot of speed when he got in there, but maybe he was overshadowed by the incredible pace from Wharton, who had to turn and chase. I talked about a psychological blow with the Decelis try. That is demoralising. Good work there from Stephen Jolly. Good chase by the fullback for St. Paul's. But the job is ahead of them. They haven't played poorly in this first half, and they could trail by 14 points.
Yeah, by the look of the kicking ability of Gibson, it will be 14 points. 2 from 2. Total concentration. Does the job. Does the job. Marist head to conference time. We'll take a break. Commonwealth Bank Cup football from Parramatta Stadium. 14 points to 0. Marist leads St. Paul's Manly. Can I say that? No? I've heard it about 8 times this year too, not me. There's the statistics as we welcome you back from half-time. And the scoreline, if you've just joined us, Parramatta Marist 14 points to 0. Sterling, take us through the stats.
Well, I just think you've got to give a rap to both sides. Look down the bottom, the errors, only 3 from each team, and in one half of football, that's very good. The coaches would be happy with that. A couple more missed tackles for the Manly side, and I'm sure that the coaches said something of that at half-time. If they're to get back into this game, that's the area they need to address, the defence, especially up the middle of the ruck.
Gibson with the restart for Marist. And now this is magnificent first half with limited opportunities. You can see the evasiveness of him right there as he slipped that first time. Harris. Naval dummy. Looks wide for Crotty, but now Colella wants to do some hard stuff. He threw a careless ball. They'll punish you, Marist.
The referees ruled that the Parramatta Marist player in Jolly came up with the knock-on. Another little let-off there. I don't think that the St.Pauls player, the Marist player played at the ball. Well, his hand was there. So a good decision by the referee. Looking at the replay, and
we've been giving young Jolly plenty of raps from Marist. On the other side of the ledger, young Crotty for St.Pauls played flag with Manly, ball in 92, and Harold Matthews in 91, and seems destined to a great career with the mighty Sea Eagles, depending on which side of the street you live.
Defensively, he's been very good. He's done a lot of...
What about this boy? Nevin!
Yeah, they're just on the halfbacks. One thing I would like to see from the Parramatta Marist halfback is the referee again finds a penalty against the Marist side. When we have a look at Gary Jolly with the ball in his hands, I'd like to see him run towards the defence a little bit more. They're putting on a lot of second-man plays, but he's not committing anyone. He's really just only standing and passing. He's got to take a few steps towards the defensive line and attract a little bit more of the defence to himself.
There's the advice coming to you from the Commonwealth Bank Cup's greatest product to date, and this player lift up Housier, so one of the big parts of our call, the Commonwealth Bank Cup, for all you junior players at home, getting the tips from the little genius, Peter Sterling. So, from dummy half, they skirt, taken into touch.
Well, you've either got to score the try or it's a dumb play, isn't it? That was third tackle. Adam Nabel deciding to go down the blind side. It's a genius play if you get the ball over the line. If you don't, you shouldn't have tried it. And I think in retrospect, you'll say that it would have been a better option to go wide.
So, Marist, they lead by 14 points to 0. Opening stages of the second half. And probably a time where they've really got to secure their position on the scoreboard.
Well, obviously, St.Pauls need to be the next scorer. And I believe that the danger periods really are the first 5 minutes of each half and the last 5. So, you know, you've been to a break, you come out, maybe your intensity and your concentration isn't what it should be as you come back out after that. And both these teams, they're vulnerable at this stage.
Savas in 12 for Marist. Both second rowers of Lebanese origin for Parramatta Marist, as indeed a lot of their school population. And very proud of it.
Gee, that's good front on defence there. Decelis leading the way again. There's some great defence first up from both teams.
Young Duncan Decelis, Peter, you probably saw a little bit of him so far as his SG ball duties go.
That's just great timing. You know, he's not
First
a big
appearance in Marist for this year. You've seen him. What do you think to date, Duncan Decelis?
Well, he's doing everything right, isn't he? He was involved in one of the first half tries. His distribution from dummy half has been good. But I don't think there's many players out there who played poorly.
No. Well, put on the spot, and we've still got plenty of football left in the second half, and there's plenty of talented footballers. Who's been your best?
Well, I'll reserve my judgment. I think there's been some good performance from both sides. So that's great defence there on Kirk Wheeler driving him back. I think if I was put on the spot, as you did do, I'd say Kovac, the man who set up the first try, is a mistake made by Wheeler. And this is a perfect opportunity for St.Pauls from Manly. Good chase. Let's have a look how the ball comes out. Yeah, well, it had the number 7's head in there, Chris Crotty. It should have gone the other way, the penalty.
But one went against them in the first half, if not two, that maybe shouldn't have happened. So St.Pauls, they need to score and score now. Nabel Crotty. This is Robertson. Now away for Nevin, splits them. Great ball for Tauro. Not held, gets up, play on, try time. St.Pauls, they're back in the ball game.
Great work there, and good presence of mind to know that he wasn't held. The try scorer, I think, is Peter Curran, is that right, the number 4?
We're talking for St.Pauls, it's Nathan Tauro.
Tauro. Beautiful work there from the inside men. It looked as though Nevin was going to go straight through. A good couple of passes here got wide. You see that Canberra style of play there. They've gone half the field in 2 passes, and that was a beautiful ball there. The 5'8" got into a gap, got a good pass away there to Nathan Tauro. He wasn't held. The winger bounced off him in defence, Craig Gibson, and you'll see this perfectly from this angle.
Peter,
that was the important play there, attracting 2 defenders.
Peter, he's threatened to do that on a number of occasions, the 5'8" Nevin, and this time it's come off. It was backs to the walls, and now Tauro puts his side back in the ball game.
Well, it was interesting to see in that particular movement, they actually moved Nevin, the 5'8", outside the centre. Trent Robertson took the ball. He threw it, he's the centre, he threw it to the 5'8", who then picked up another centre. So they changed their back line around a little bit there, and it worked for the 5'8". He just found himself in a bit more space than Parramatta Marist have given him in this opening first half.
Kick and kick, Wharton. Off the uprights, you can't get much closer. Marist are still saying, look at the scoreboard, but they're coming back, St.Pauls. Yes,
they did fight back, and beautiful try here. Looked like it may have broken down there, but the centre had the momentum going, got up, scored the try. 14-4, Parramatta Marist over St.Pauls from Manly.
Ivers. Harris is seeming to make these yards a little easier too in the second half. Kalela. Interesting to see some of the hierarchy from the Parramatta club here today. Certainly taking this in, as are the people from Manly Warringah, with very much vested interests in the Sea Eagles club. Wharton, clearing kick. No trouble at all. Easy as you please. So Brett Wharton, a player of great experience, as already mentioned, probably could come into his own in this second half. Under pressure.
It's been an impressive start from St.Pauls Manly. They were behind the 8 ball going in to the break, 14 points in arrears. Got a replacement about to come on, and I'm sure that try scored there is going to lift their game, get them confident. They know that this defence isn't impregnable. They must keep their defence tight here. Parramatta Marist now trying to take it out. 35 metres from their own line, and that's good yards again. That's the replacement player in the first half, Petrie.
He's only in year 10. Savas taken around the collar. Taloni and 6 back on the field. Ball along the ground. Hartley. Last tackle. Back for the clearing kick. Job done nicely. No, way too deep. I thought it might have held up in the in-goal area. Very deep in goal, but it just went end over end. He was looking for the sideline. In fact, that's the wrong player there. That's Kovac. Ryan Swerdlow, of course, playing with the St.Pauls side. Hausier. Naval from dummy half unloads. This is Swerdlow now. Will they clear on the next? Stands in the tackle. Crotty now. Robertson looks to pass. They're going to throw it around a little bit, St.Pauls.
A couple of familiar faces from the Parramatta district here. Ron Hilditch, a former international, now the under-21s coach at Parramatta, and next to him was Ron Massey, who's the coordinator at the Parramatta club. In my opinion, the greatest judge of football talent the game has seen. That'll be 6 again for the St.Pauls side from Manly. Those kind of little things just change the course of matches. Instead of kicking the ball down or giving it away on the last tackle, they've got another set of 6 here. Can really get some momentum going when you have 12 shots at your opposition in a row.
Eamon Edgar has come off. He's now back on the sideline, about to take his place. He's been given a little spell. It might have just been a freshen up. He's coming back now. In fact, it might have been to give young Petrick. I know they're very keen to blood him because he's going to come very, very handy. That was knock on. But now Eamon Edgar will see whose place he does take.
Pass just being forced there, and it came back between two players. In the end, Adam Nabel knocked on. Well, he's through the pass to keep things going, and then he backs up again, and there he puts his right hand out, and down the ball goes.
There's Petrick, done his job and done it well. So it certainly is a 15-man game, rugby league. The interchange so important. Petrick getting a taste of top-class schoolboy rugby league. Edgar on, Petrick off for Marist. 14 is on the field for St. Paul's. That's Panetta. Delaney from dummy. Surtees took it forward. Now Jolly with the spiralling kick towards the sideline and finds it. Great little kick.
A very good kick there, and it's a good kick when you're leading on the scoreboard as well. I think that generally you probably want to keep the ball in play as much as possible, but when you've got the scoreboard in your favour, the more minutes you can eat up, the more advantageous it is to the side. So Parramatta, they won't mind seeing this scrum go down, and
hopefully beating up the 6 tackles and getting it back down here with some good field position.
And a penalty there for, like, feet across was a signal. Some infringement in the scrum there from the Parramatta Marist front row. And Wharton finds touch 24 metres out from his own line.
Halzier met by 3. Kovac, Decelis and Savas. Colella on the inside. Unloads back now. Nabel advances to the 45, 5 short of halfway. Own side. Not backwards, play on. Crotty back to the traffic. Big Kovac was underneath. Edgar comes out from first marker. He misses, but Surtees certainly doesn't. Crotty now with Robertson. Curran puts him back. He's away over 30 and 20. He crosses the 10. Away you go, Parramatta Marist. Curran was jogging on the spot, and the supporters for Marist go crazy in the stands. Go Marist, go, as the signs say.
Incredible to think that Parramatta Marist could score 2 tries in exactly the same fashion. The attempted chip over the top from St.Pauls, the charge down. On this occasion, the man who charged the ball down didn't score the try, but Peter Curran was in good position. He's a speed man. One of the fast centres, both him and Hartley make up a fairly lethal combination. And these kicks just not finding the mark. Taloni did a good job, the 5'8", to knock the ball down. And it bounced straight in the hands of Peter Curran, who showed good speed. Nice running style, plenty of balance. And once he got into the clear, there was no way knowing Manly were going to round him up.
Curran taking in the water. Ground looks in superb condition here at the Parramatta Stadium. Gibson right in front. Three from 3, 100% strike rate. And this one, straight as a gun barrel. An extra 2 points. 20 points to 4 now, Marist. They skip away. They've come right back. Commonwealth Bank Cup on 9's Wide World of Sports. Bowden. Running strongly, Colella, the first man there again. Robertson from marker defence chases and makes the tackle. In company with Smith. Taloni now for Savas. Thrusting the arms and the legs together and taking it over the halfway line. Surtees busts one tackle. Panetta came off second best. Eventually the job was done by Smith and Harris. Hartley the kick in along the ground. Inside the in-goal area. Trickles in touch in goal. Back for the 22 restart.
I think the most impressive thing about this performance so far from Parramatta Marist, we still have 15 minutes to go, so plenty of time for St.Pauls to get back into this game if they can put on some quick points. It's been the fact is they're up against very good opposition here. This Manly side got good attacking ability. Defensively at times they've been a bit dusty up the middle, but overall they've been quite good. So to have scored 20 points against them, I know 2 have come from lucky bounces from kicks, but you've got to put yourself in a position to take advantage of that luck too. If you don't have somebody going through putting pressure on the kicker, you're not going to get the result. So they've done the little things well, Parramatta Marist, and they've reaped the benefits.
Robertson. Yep, and Parramatta Marist, of course, involved in the Metropolitan Catholic Schools midweek competition. They went down in the final 10 points to 6 to St Gregory's College of Campbelltown. Wharton splits 2 and 3. He crosses the 30. He chips over the top. Jolly giving chase. Wharton's there in the in-goal area, and like a Kelpie dog, herds Gibson back. Dead in goal.
Well, inspirational work there from Brett Wharton. He chimed in beautifully, and that's Phil Blake from front on, isn't it? Kicking almost the opposite way to the way that he's running. He's going to the left side. He kicked back to the right. Good work there from Gibson, the winger, to get back in time.
Funny that you say Phil Blake, probably their most favourite son.
Well, they'd like him out there for the next 15 minutes, wouldn't they?
Well, St.Pauls, of course, Phil Blake, their greatest product. Robinson, driven by Eamon Edgar, in company with Kovac. The front rower with the kicking game. Nabel for Crotty, for Nevin. Nevin cuts out Tauro, picks up the winger Ivers. Back inside it goes. I think it's with, yes it is, Tauro. Tauro plays it. Nevin through the hands of Smith. He can't handle Panetta to play it. Goes from dummy half himself, Nabel. Defence hangs on, Kovac over the top, underneath was Savas. Last tackle, last throw of the dice, Wharton kicks himself, regathers, goes himself, ducks under, reach out and scores! Oh, individual brilliance. It was back to the wall. He's tried his heart and soul out for St.Pauls. Write the name down, Brett Wharton. It's one you're not going to forget. Here he is. And another try from a kick here that was touched by the opposition. Good pressure coming through, but Wharton picked up. He had a job to get the ball down here, but that try was set up by the previous play. The run from Adam Nabel allowed him to get close enough. The bounce favoured him again, and he did a good job to get the ball down. It was good sustained pressure. Just have a look at this, not this play, but the next one. To play the ball. Oh, that was good work there. Pass. Now the play will come in once more. They come to the open, and from this next play, the ball is breaks down here, but Nabel gets to dummy half. Now watch the markers both go the same way from this dummy half run. Both the markers go that way. That allows Nabel to take an easy 15 metres, sets up the try. Wharton comes in, he's only got 5 metres to travel. If the ball bounces nicely for him, he's going to get the ball down, and he does so, right in front of the referee. Easy conversion. There it is. So St.Pauls now 20 points to 10. 11 minutes left of this football game. Marist really need to consolidate now.
Plenty of time, as I mentioned earlier, for St.Pauls Manly. They've good 10 minutes to go, and they've shown that they can strike back. And it seems to be Brett Wharton in the fullback position who is the catalyst to their good things. They've gone wide again. A long pass finds the winger. They've got to the 40-metre line, and they're doing it in style now. They can sniff that they're not out of this game.
Crotty busts them himself. The ball's gone backwards through Ivers. Nevin keeps it alive. They've looked very dangerous the blind side. They've caught Marist napping. It's almost like they've rehearsed it and watched videos of the Marist side. They've got away with heaps on the blind side. Now they come back through Kalela. Kalela gets the ball away. Now with Ivers. Ivers to play it.
Well, here comes Wharton again to get involved. They should just go high, I think. Put
That's
some pressure on.
Pressure's there for Wheeler. Oh, he's taken
and
it.
He'll score.
Portland, you are a freak, son. Oh boy, Champagne Schoolboy Rugby League. Say it one more time, I don't care. Remember the name, Brett Wharton.
Well, it's going to be 20-16 very shortly, and it was the last tackle. Why not make it a lottery? He puts the kick up, and who comes up? Never takes his eye off it. The fullback is in a position where he can't get momentum. He's got to stand and catch it, and up he gets and scores the try. And well, what about this for a recovery? A great kick there. You see the fullback from Marist, he's got to stand still, and that gives the St.Pauls player the advantage because they come at pace with momentum. They can climb higher, and Wharton climbed very nicely.
I'll ask a question on reflection of that try shortly. In fact, we've probably got time now. Peter, did the fullback Wheeler give himself every chance in that opportunity? Should he have gone back and come back for the football?
Well, it's, you know, he got himself under the ball. I probably would be a little bit more critical that he didn't have more support back there, to be quite honest. But yeah, if he could have got a run into the ball, it would have been to his advantage.
20 points to 14. Make it 20 points to 16. 8 left on the clock. Commonwealth Bank Cup. It's hotting up in 93. One more time.
And that's the second try in a matter of minutes for Wharton. He's got his side back into this.
In fact, Wheeler is off the field. I think they'll find playing back there is the 18, young Jolly. My apologies to Paul Clear. Kovac the restart. Wharton lets it go. Lambert comes back from the kickoff, takes on the defensive line, and Eamon Edgar tries to put him into touch with a shoulder-jarring tackle.
Now, St.Pauls don't want to get too carried away. Oh, they've come up with the mistake here. Savas cleans up. Just going to say they don't want to get carried away with what they're doing out there, and straight away they've come up with the mistake.
They've got them to the right now. Bowden, big play, the ball is on for Parramatta Marist. They must be setting themselves for something. It's 20 points to 16. You'd think they'd want the try. They haven't got the 6-point buffer. The field goal is no good at this stage, not with 7 minutes left on the clock.
No, what they need to play now is field position, which means if they go through their set of 5 or 6 tackles here, they want to get the ball into the in-goal area, force a line drop out. If they can't score the try, they must get the ball back. Good run there again from Decelis.
Last tackle signal. Jolly, Kovac, along the ground. It's an awkward one to pick up. He puts his body on the line. Eventually, Nevin covers up for St.Pauls Manly.
Yes, Adam Ivers, the winger, went straight over the top of that, so Nevin needed to be there. There was a lot of Parramatta Marist players going through.
I like the look of Nevin. I like the look of Crotty and Wharton, and the work rate of Kalela has been astounding. And now this great experience of Brett Wharton, and last year he was in the side and really caused damage amongst the Fairfield ranks on that day. This now is Nabel, and this boy can certainly play as well. He puts out the right shoulder and takes on the defence. They're not going down without a fight. Now they move it wide. Robinson for Nevin. Nevin unloads now back for Tauro. Tauro happy to play it on the last. Nevin, back for Crotty, looks wide, no runners. He says, I'll kick myself then. There's a chase there from Ivers. This ball, Hartley taking his time. He's got the 10-metre rule to play with. Stumbles, gets up, he beats the first. Now there's easy yards as he crosses the 20. He's wrapped up by Matt Harris.
Well, if I was Chris Crotty, I'd be very disappointed in my outside men there. He was looking to run the football on the last tackle. They had Parramatta Marist at 6s and 7s, a lot of tiredness out there, and nobody was in a position that he could receive the football and keep the play going. He was forced to kick the football, and it wasn't a very good kick in the end.
Marist now surged back towards halfway, but with a penalty, and the Marist supporters in the Michael Cronin stand start to wave the banners again, but they were in stunned silence there for a couple of minutes.
He's got 10 minutes here, so that's a very tough decision. That means that he won't be back for the rest of this game. That's Michael Smith going into the sin bin. And I thought, well, it's a good run here by Edgar. He's put to the ground. Smith picks him up. Okay, now he's... Well, okay,
10 minutes?
It's a penalty. I don't think it's 10 minutes now.
Say no more. 7-5 the penalties and another dubious decision. And of course, the Commonwealth Bank doing a tremendous job in the fostering of our referees at all levels. Of course, the sleeve sponsors and everything. Taloney to dummy half. Switches and comes the blind for Curran, the try scorer. Backs to the walls again. What a courageous performance from St.Pauls. Oh, Edgar just launches himself
and scores.
Oh, he was like a cannon. He was like a Patriot missile.
Oh, unbelievable stuff there. What about the way Brett Wharton bounces off him, the fullback?
There was no other way.
Great try there, Edgar. He really set his sights on scoring that one. He's had a good game. I was surprised that he was replaced at one stage during the match. I wonder if he's carrying some sort of injury, but he came a long way back and bang. Wharton tried for the shoulder charge. Now it's one
Close
of those...
to his own line. He came up off his line, didn't he?
Yeah, but you've got to wrap the player up. You can't go in for the shoulder charge. In fact, all that's done is given the ball runner extra momentum and helped him get across the line. He had plenty of work to do.
Certainly did.
And wraps it up and he's played very well, Edgar.
Marist now bounce back. That's a sign of a good side. They have played a very, very courageous side in St.Pauls Manly. We've got 3 minutes left.
It's been a very good game, one of the best Commonwealth Bank Cup games I've seen this season. Two very good sides. It looked like it was well and truly out of St.Pauls Manly's reach, but they came back, they scored a lot of points quickly, got back to within striking distance, but Parramatta Marist have risen to the occasion. And that man who was just on screen, Eamon Edgar, has wrapped it up, and they'll move through to the next round. And not a bad strike rate from their goal kicker.
Gibson. In flight, it doesn't look that good off the boot. It's away to the left. But Marist 24-16, commanding leaders. They look like they're going a step closer to their ambition for 93. They want the trophy from the Fairfield Pats cabinet. Wharton restarts. Marist, as I said earlier, go through to meet the winner of Woodlawn and St Francis Xavier. On the other side, and they still on the same side of the ledger from Queensland, Wavell State High and St Augustine's on that side of the draw. The other side of the draw, we looked at teams like St Gregory's College of Campbelltown, John Paul II Marayong, De La Salle Cronulla, and of course Fairfield Pats out to defend their 92 final. Curran now, they're going through the motions, one would think. Taloney looks to use a wide blind but comes back. He's played well the 5'8" from that dummy half position. Kovac the kick. Oh, nice kick. Now look, he's going to get barred from the front rowers union.
Well, it was a good kick there, but I thought the wing and Lambert should have made a play on the ball. They're running out of time. You've got to keep the ball in play as much as possible. I think, well, it would have been a good slips catch, I've got to admit, but they've had to make some effort on it to try and get the ball moving as quickly as possible. As it is now, Parramatta Marist get their defence set. 90 metres for St.Pauls to travel.
Wharton tries to split them on the first. What an inspirational performance from the one. Inside the last couple of seconds. There's the siren, Nevin uses on the last. Tauro kicks, comes back for Jolly, takes it back over the 40 and the 30. He's still going. Gary Jolly, tremendous performance. Now the referee says, that'll do, gentlemen. Parramatta Marist have won this clash 24 points to 16 in a top-class Commonwealth Bank Cup clash.